Hi, you're listening to the My Body, My Story podcast.
I can sing a tune my uncle used to sing. Ula wegen dangin, ula wegen tengering, underame heganda.
This is the 45 over 45 chapter where we celebrate rule breakers and role models, the women who inspire us to live life our way and to show their sensuality, beauty, soul, and true essence. Here, we talk about what it's like to be 45 plus, adjusting to the changes that come with time, and we listen to the stories of our participants. If you have an interesting story, we'd love for you to participate. You can email us at info@alexandrawalker.com. That's Alexandra spelt with a K-S. Or visit our website, alexandrawalker.com.
Hello everyone and welcome to My Body, My Story project. And today with us in the studio, Tuyana. And while she's sitting in a makeup chair and Chitra is doing makeup for her, I'll be asking her a few questions. Hi Tuyana.
Hi everyone, hello.
Welcome to the studio, welcome to the project, and let's start. And tell us 10 facts about yourself.
It was hard time to choose. Yesterday I was thinking, what shall I give about myself in 10 facts?
Oh, you can give more.
Okay. Maybe first, I'm 44, nearly 45-year-old. I was born in Russia, in Siberia, Mongolian border, so I have Mongolian roots. But my great-granddad already was Russian Empire citizen 380 years ago. They say we willingly signed a petition to join Russian Empire instead of going under Chinese. So that's how my mother tongue is Russian. I can speak also Mongolian dialect. My grandparents taught me. I consider myself very lucky. I grew up with my grandparents and my middle sister. So when parents studied in St. Petersburg, they both, my dad is in physics and mom is in math. So they did their PhDs and they left kids to their grandparents. But then the same thing I did when I had my son. So I had this absolute feeling, there's my best luck in my life. I grew up with grandparents who actually had their all, ambitions done with their kids. Mm-hmm. They turn out good, their 4 kids. So with us, they just let us be. So just recently reading this Agatha Christie's autobiography, I've heard this thought. She says, the best luck in your life you can get if you have a happy childhood. That's what I actually had with grandparents. It was absolute freedom. I learned to read and write. I was 7-year-old. Now, when my daughter, for example, was born, I made sure she's, all this early education and all this. So she learned how to swim before she started walking. She learned how to read. She was about 3-year-old or something. But not that, I did it very much intentionally, just we created this environment, all these things. But in our case, we grandparents created playful environment for us. We were roaming streets from dusk till dawn. It was very happy childhood in remote Siberian village with nearly 8 months of winter, but then 3 months of summer, blessed summer. It's like people rarely believe when I say it's plus 30 degrees with the summer in our places. And then, yes, fair enough, it's minus 30 when it's cold, winter, but you'll have all the rivers frozen, so you can skate, you can do all the skiing, and it's very happy time in my life.
So what was your favorite activity during the winter?
Winter, we skied. We had the skating activities, playing, just snowballing, Also, it gave me opportunity to read a lot, because when it's too cold, when it's blizzard or something, you just locked in at home reading. Yeah, you have hearty fire, you know, so yeah, all these memories.
Sounds romantic.
I know. So I think what we look for when we grown up, try to recreate for my kids, for example, that's all I had just given.
And,
Yeah.
and here you are with the 9 months summer. So
Exactly.
like opposite direction. So when did you move to Australia?
I lived in Australia for about 16 years. I followed my husband, boyfriend at that time. He's from Russia as well, but Caucasus Mountains, so south of Russia. We met in Moscow studying. In year of his PhD research, he said he's not doing what he wanted. So he needs to find a sort of nice alternative. Maybe getting Australian passport is a sort of a thing of future as well, because parents expected a lot, and he could only offer sort of an alternative, equal. Yeah, so he went, he lived for a year without me in Melbourne, and for the whole year he was trying to get me interested, saying it's an awesome place. If you never come, you'd be regretting it for your life. So yeah, I followed, and here I am, 16 years.
Are you enjoying it here?
Absolutely. Well, we traveled. We lived in Melbourne, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Canberra even. Our daughter learned how to walk on the shore of Lake Burleigh. But we moved to Sydney, and I think, as my husband said, we could have not traveled anywhere else, because Sydney has it all. I love it, and I live in one of the best parts of Sydney, Northern Beaches. So yeah, we've traveled Northern Beaches as well. So we lived in Collaroy, now we're in Mona Vale. But for a person who learned how to swim, a 25-year-old, me, who we members of Collaroy Swim Club with my daughter, so we once a week, or twice a week actually, she does Wednesday swims long distances. I'm not that proficient yet, maybe I never will be, but Sundays we swim competitively. It's you know, something, I guess. We won parent and child race for 2 years in a row. We had a perpetual trophy, got our names engraved in golden letters on the back of the trophy. So yeah, I was thinking it's probably, I could say it is an achievement for me personally, because like, yeah, swimming was a big thing to do.
Yeah, wow. And you said also, you mentioned earlier that you have son as well?
Yes, my son's in 9 days, he's turning 25-year-old.
Wow.
That's another big, I guess, part of me who is a mother of 25-year-old boy. It's like, I can't believe it. When he was born, I was 19 and a half. He's same thing, like at some point, I was studying in linguistic uni, so I've learned German at school and went to linguistic uni to become a German English teacher. And in second year, I thought I'm not doing what I actually like to do. So I couldn't quit as well with these all academics expectations from my family. I could only offer something like equally important. So I had a gap year having a boy and creating my own family. It was a great experience. At 22-year-old, I think I had it all happening. I was graduating from uni with an accounting degree. I had a son, 3-year-old, at childcare, pretty independent, family to build, and yeah, the rest of the world to be conquered, I guess.
Wow. So you started your journey early and like from the high start. So what do you think is your, I know it was the question from the previous seasons, but I'd like to ask you, so what do you think is your greatest achievement or achievements?
That's a hard one as well, because I hope they are ahead, the big achievements. But for now, say, when you think probably what my parents wanted for me, grandparents as well, when they put so much love into bringing me up, was so I've become a good person, helpful to others, and hopefully they can say it's actually happened. I am a mother of two. I'm a wife. I work full-time as an accountant for a company that installs solar panels. So I kind of nurture this...
with a purpose.
Yes, thing that I'm part of something bigger. And yeah, just I was really thinking, what's one's life achievements, what counts? Because these little things like, you know, everyday battle, you get up, get your family ready, get yourself ready, you start work, you do things you like, you make time for yourself, and also maybe contribute a little bit to the society. Yeah, so I guess what the answer to this question is, I hope it's the bigger achievements ahead, but at the moment I managed to build a life I probably wanted to build. And yeah, maybe another thing is I'd really like to get more involved into bigger world sort of happenings, not on politics or say things, but I'm, say for example, I'm a member of a few book clubs just because I'm into people's psychology, right? So you read the same book as other dozen do with you, but then you make not conclusions, but you notice something and the others notice something else completely different. So you think, you see how it works. We do have different upbringing, background, so the brain trained to pick things different.
Filters.
Not necessarily good or better, but just different. So yeah, you learn from others as well. Say, for example, being a member of Australian Conservation Foundation is another thing. You contribute to environmental issues, bring awareness to problems, or like, say, my involvement in a human library. It's an online project for me now because with the COVID it started, they expanded so you can participate online. Basic idea is human library publishes human books. So like you borrow a book from the library, you can invite someone who will tell you his story. And obviously the your story needs to be interesting to others. For example, books titles you pick, you can have different, a few titles at the same time. Say mine, one of them, immigration, right? So I've sort of lived this immigration process. I've managed to adjust. Maybe if I tell my story how it went, others will get some sort of ideas, little tips how to build it better for themselves. Another one is, for example, young mother, because my story is as well, like, I was very privileged. I had all the help from parents. It went very smoothly. I never had to sacrifice anything. I benefited from it because becoming a mother at a young age teaches you a lot of things, like, you know, mother, first of all, sacrifices her time, maybe even
interests,
bigger purpose, exactly, for the sake of dedicating your time to the child, needy child, who's first, you know, just learning physically how to adjust in the world, and then grows up, growing as a person, human being. But then it's in a very Buddhistic way, I guess. Same big thank you to my grandparents who brought me in that way. So some things just come naturally to me. I can't say I learned to do it. You know, I got it very, like with mother's milk, for example, pretty much. I know you accumulate, say, good deeds. You contribute to the society. so same thing, like you don't do bad things not because you say want to be reborn next life to have a chance to live better, but just because you want to help others.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
maybe this.
Wow, what a great story.
Thank you.
So let's move to the subject of our project and the podcast, and let's talk about body and aging. And my next question is, what does aging means to you?
What aging means to me, I guess inside, we laughed recently with my husband. I asked him, how old is your inner child? Because, you know, inside of each of us, there isn't child, but then I guess it depends. If your child is 5-year-old, you want one thing, you know, certain things. And when your child is, say, 10-year-old, it's a bit of a different story.
Yeah.
So I think
This is just for those who are listening to us and don't know what you're talking about. It's a psychological, I don't know, like a idea. Yeah, like everyone has the inner child inside, which is the basis of our personality. And you have to grow your inner child to become a whole adult, as like meaning like healing your traumas. This is just like a side note. Yes. And so what did your husband answer?
Oh, he didn't, of course. It'd be too easy for me. So he said, you figure it out yourself since you've asked. But I thought my inner child is probably my best luck is maybe I had 2 chances to sort of not to heal my inner child. I don't think the child needed any healing because he had such a happy childhood, was accepted with whatever, even tricky things I've done when I was little. But with each kid, you have a chance to live through your questions, some uncertainties. Say, now I watch how my daughter's growing. So at this stage, my daughter's 11 years old. I think my inner child is 11-year-old. So yeah, when I see her looking for her place, for her standards, say, shifting, adjusting, because we live in a society, you want it or not, at some point you'll be looking around you, and there are stages waiting for you to be sort of lived through, experienced, like preteens. They will at some point question your authority as a parent, and no matter how good your standards and principles are, but they'll be looking up to their peers more, right? So now I'm thinking, it's like I had this stage in my life when I was sort of as well shifted and uncertain, but because I'm 11-year-old right now, say in 44-year-old woman body, I can compare and I can appreciate things I've been just given, explained with no explanation. So I've taken them very naturally. So with, of course, body ages, fortunate for you or not. I mean, you can feel restrictions, but I understood it very early as well. Say, looking at my grandma who had back problems, I knew I need to do exercising. So I enrolled myself into yoga studio. I was 25-year-old. Now I'm very privileged. I live across the road of the wonderful yoga studio, hot yoga studio. They also offer not hot vinyasa classes. I do outdoor yoga with my beautiful friend as well. So regularly exercising, keeping your body strong, because it's the best instrument given in your life. So we spend time learning how to play piano, use your mobile phone with millions of functions, but then your body is the one instrument with such a sophisticated and with proper care, you can use it for quite long. Exactly.
Long time.
Again, my grandparents, hopefully I've inherited some genes from them. Say, grandma left us, she was 94-year-old. Her mother left, she was as well 95, and grandfather, for example, he was 104-year-old.
Oh, wow.
His own mother was 102-year-old. She rode a horse to say goodbye to all her children. So my grandmother used to say, yeah, my mother-in-law came once from the neighboring village, riding a horse, brought us presents, and then there was the last time they saw her, and she was 102-year-old riding on her own. So yeah, now I'm thinking,
Good genetics.
oh well, hopefully, but looking at how you can probably with healthy diet, good lifestyle, balance in your life, work, rest, you can manage quality life.
So now I understand, like with your genetics and family history, being only 45, even not being 45, it's like you don't feel aging at all. Knowing that your relatives are living until 90s. But if you could go back to any age of yours, what it would be and why? And what advice would you give yourself at this age?
I think maybe it'd be when I was 25, on the verge of deciding, should I immigrate or not? Because I left lifestyle when I left Moscow, right? I had a job, I had social status at a pretty young age, a good salary, circle of friends, you know, theater, subscription for a year paid in advance, sort of things. And then, yeah, I pushed myself completely out of my comfort zone when I came to Australia. But definitely it worth it. Otherwise, I probably never, ever would have developed some sides of my personality. As, I've developed, I hope, here. Immigrating, doing things I think I probably never would do. And the advice would be to myself at 25, it'll be all right. You'll figure it out. It'll be even better than you imagine. So, yeah, it probably applies to me even right now, because human nature is we worry. You can't help it, because we have certain expectations from the family, society around you, from yourself as well. But it actually comes out well in any case. And even if you think you're not getting something you should, probably just a door you don't need to open. Yeah. There is another one for you waiting.
I agree. So we touched a bit on that subject, but let's move closer to the body image questions. And what do you think are the main... no, I'll ask this question a bit later. So the first question will be, if your body could talk, what do you think it would tell you or ask you?
Well, I do hope my body's okay with how I treat it, because I know I need a good sleep, otherwise I'm not half a good sort of a person. So yeah, I go to bed early, I get up with sunrise, I practice gratitude rituals. So yeah, I think my body as well, because it's been so good to me. It was a home for 2 of my babies. It took me through some difficult years when, you know, your priorities are not your body, so you only remember about it when it reminds you, say, with back pain or high blood pressure or something like that. But then those are signs. You say, thank you, you're giving me signs in advance. I need to take care of you. So you take rest, exercise, probably treat it with some massage, sauna, so good food, ocean swims. What
So
else?
it would just say thank you to you
I
because you're
hope
doing
so.
all those things.
I hope so. But yeah, maybe there are a few things I'm not doing. I could have, say, more regularly doing massage, say, or maybe quitting sugar completely. But I still like to treat myself occasionally to a piece
Yeah.
of cake.
And what do you think are the main causes of body image issues if someone has a body image issue?
We're never happy with what we've got, right? But again, I was very fortunate at a very early age. My grandmother explained me, she said, darling, you have two beautiful symmetric eyes, two hands, you know, a straight nose, healthy body. You should know there are people who don't have even that. So no matter if, you know, your eyes say not so big or eyelashes not so long, it all can be fixed, right? Especially now, you know, with makeup and right, maybe raccourse, you'll have a good photograph and you'll be happy enough. So I think the main idea is you need to come to terms with yourself, first of all. Be in harmony with yourself, with your self-image. You can't help it sometimes. You see there are, you know, people tall, slim. You're never going to be that because your height is what's been sort of genetically given to you. You've reached it at 44. So, but then you can buy heels. You can add a few centimeters. It'll help to, you know, your legs look longer. You can exercise so your muscles are in shape. But yes, of course, you can. I mean, when I see young ladies with thin bone structure, for example, I'm not going to get it because I'm quite heavy from nature. But then I remind myself, this is the body I've been given. I'm not going to get any better, so I can just look after it well. It'll serve me for long. With the social pressure, for example, the image that social medias create, same thing, like I try to explain my daughter, it's you only see what people like to show you, but it's not true. Like in Matrix, you see one image, but then behind it so much work. So maybe
Like an iceberg, yeah.
Exactly.
Only tip of the iceberg is shown.
And I guess life is short. I've realized it. I'm already halfway through. So I'm thinking it's not worth it spending your life miserable thinking I'd like to get something. You can work with what you've given.
Yeah, that's true. And do you believe that negative body image can affect relationships? Any relationship, like friendship, marriage?
Of course, even me, I can't help it. I think at some point when, if I was slimmer, I might have felt more confident, for example, right? I'd be looking better, I could find a better place. But the price of it, first of all, it's no point of wishing for something you're not going to get ever. So my advice to myself, first of all, is just remember you get what you paid for. So meaning if you investing in your time, in your in regular visits into the gym, your sports lessons, classes, tennis plays, I don't know, whatnot. you will get rewarded. So with the in relationship insecurities, maybe we struggle with not the behavior our partner, for example, is demonstrating. That's your perception, because it's your choice how to react, right? So maybe if I teach myself to see what's annoying me or what's challenging me, first of all, something I'm struggling with, it's going to be much more help. So if I'm insecure because of my image I have in my head, is it a body or relationship image, model, right? So that's my problem. I need to work with it. So yes, definitely your insecurities, your maybe being stiff in pictures you have in your head, that's what's going to affect relationship. So yeah, first of all, try to work with
On
you.
that, yeah.
Exactly.
And how do you overcome some body-related insecurities when they come up? What's your like? I have another question: is do you have any ways to bring yourself into body shape you want, and like, what's your ways to calm down those insecurities?
That period of my life, I was 25, I lived in Moscow, I worked, there was cartoon character, Masyanya. So it was a very sort of roughly sketched girl who lived and she struggled through life. I pretty much, I remember a lot of those little cartoons, they're for adults, but I'm thinking at some point I probably want to show it to my daughter, because she lived, that was my life. And there was one episode when she had depression. She was depressed and her friends came and said, you know, tried to cheer her up, take her out, and nothing worked. So they just said she'll probably have to help herself. They've tried everything, it didn't work. So she was just lying and staring towards the ceiling. And at night, it was a very bright night, she woke up, she rode her bicycle, maybe thinking just to finish it all, you know. So she was on the shore of Neva River. And then at some point, she looked at the moon's reflection. She sort of had a tune in her head. Then she started singing, and then she started laughing. And so there was her relief, right? So she came out of it, revived. So I think all these crises, that's like cicada shell. You reach your point, but then it's very painful to leave your shell. And then you have to do it. And then you, through struggles, psychological, physical, whatever challenges you face, you need to overcome. So, and then there will be point, you will help yourself. Because you're the only one who can help. Of course, friends, family, probably it mattered for her as well. But I think this is the...
But what is your method? Like, if you feel, okay, let's say, I don't like how my body looks at the moment. So what is my go-to? Do you work with you saying that the main method is psychological work on yourself, or you have also some physical actions that you do? And I'm interested, has it changed with age? Like, for example, when you were 20 and something you don't like about yourself, you had the method to put it back to normal, and now when you're 45?
Yes, again, when my partner left to Australia, we said goodbye to each other, right? Because it was a new chapter for him, and I thought it's probably that's it. So I was depressed, and I remember I spent a week lying, you know, in a star shape on my bed, with face down. Then I lied another week with my face up in a star shape again. But then something happened. I don't remember exactly how, but I got up. I bought my manistos, you know, you dance, the belly dance. So this
The costume.
shawl,
Yeah.
just a shawl with the manistas sewn to it. And I started belly dancing, learning how to belly dance. I hired a private swimming coach. I went for a week, I think every day. And then he taught me the theory, said, you're a very talented student, now you need to just practice. Come to this swimming pool, you'll be swimming like a champion soon. That's what I did. I lived next to the academy of, the academy, and they had the swimming pool in it. It was open at 5 o'clock in the morning. I could have gone around the building because there was a fence between us. But because I was 24, I was very determined. I used to jump that fence, run to the swimming pool. It was a winter time, February. I remember it was snowing.
Oh, wow.
But I swim every day. Then I went to the belly dance. I guess I danced fiercely. I was, and then when my partner met me in a year time in Melbourne, he was, of course, he saw photos, and he saw I lost about 10 kilos or something. But I guess when we met, it was I still remember in a year time, he said, do you think we should keep your size 6 dresses and costumes? Do you think you can fit back into those? But I think I've dragged them for a few years, and I've never managed to come back to the size 6 anymore. So at this stage, I had I guess COVID as well helped, not helped, but it was the reason of it. I put a lot of weight, and same thing probably with the premenopause body changes. I put at some point about 15 kilos. I've lost half. Another half is still for me to battle with. But again, I don't think I am ready to be that fierce. I don't know if it's good or not anymore, but definitely extra weight, it's no help, no physically, no mentally. That's probably something I'd like to do. But again, I swim, regularly. I do yoga, hot yoga, so I sweat a lot. But then the weight's not moving, and I'm thinking I'm not probably fierce enough anymore at 44-year-old. So, but then I knew, I know my way of coming back to the fit state is just moving more. Yeah. I don't think I'm ready to cut my diet, because I don't think I eat a lot, though there are always room for improvement, of course. Yeah. I might have, honestly written down every piece of food I've eaten for a week, and then I'd find where I could have cut or, adjusted something. But I don't think I'm ready to do it. Life is too busy with full-time work, with daughter in high school, with my son around, So I also try to make time for things I love to do, like, attending all these book clubs, a movie club,
busy life.
Conservation foundation meetings, yes, watching movies, swimming in the swim club, attending birthday parties, cooking, what else, so riding bike around the lake. So I think I am quite happy with what I have right now. There are room for improvement, I know that.
But the main thing that you are happy.
Yes, exactly. Well, they say, if you don't have strength enough to do something, say, stairs of 1,000 steps, maybe just turn toward it, lie toward it. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, my last question, just to wrap up this very nice, deep conversation, which I enjoyed greatly, is, do you have any favorite quote about being a woman?
I had one, I don't know if I'm going to quote it correctly, but the meaning is strong woman knows she has strength in her to make the journey. But women with strength know it's in a journey they gain strength. So I think
Wow.
life is not a struggle, like I don't think so, because a lot of things were just given to me, but definitely it's a sort of obstacle course. Some obstacles you think maybe not so fair to you, but you need to believe it's for your own good. You can gain strength, you can become stronger, wiser, happier when you overcome them, those obstacles.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Thank you for such a great conversation, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of the day in your photo shoot. And
Thank
just
you.
for our listeners, can you say at least one phrase in the Mongolian dialect? Because I just wonder how it sounds. I never heard that.
I can probably even sing a little tune if I choose what can I do. Maybe since it's about me, since it's about us girls, lovely ladies, I can sing a tune my uncle used to sing. That's
Wow, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Tuyana. Thank you very much.
If you have an interesting story, we'd love for you to participate. You can email us at info@alexandrawalker.com. That's Alexandra spelt with a KS. Or visit our website, alexandrawalker.com.